evening, everybody. Welcome to MDM Live. It's August 31st. It's National Heroes Day. So I want to greet everybody a happy National Heroes Day. I hope this is your day. Not only just resting and relaxing, but also spending time to reflect on all the bravery and courageous acts that all types of heroes have demonstrated all through the years. And I want to give a special mention and shout out of course, to all of our modern heroes, our frontliners, all of the kinds of frontliners, medical frontliners, that ensure that um, we have all of the things that we need. Okay, so I just wanted to greet everybody again. A happy Heroes Day. Today we have a special edition of MDM Live. We will have today we are featuring today our MDM alumni who are all members of the uniformed services. Okay. Most particularly representing two very important agencies of government, the Philippine National Police and the Bureau of Customs. Okay. So these are people who are tasked with different kinds of roles related to upholding our laws, ensuring peace and order, and ensuring the order in our economy. Okay, so our topic really, MDM Live is hosted by the Swilik School of Development Management, and the intention really is to talk about many different kinds of issues, and more particularly also to talk about the leadership needed to deliver impact at scale. Okay, so we have four guests today, and I don't want to spend more time uh, talking about uh, other things. So I'm going to go ahead straight and introduce our guests. Okay, so our first guest today is Police Major Joel Corpus from MDM 2018. He is the Chief of Change Management and Best Practices at the Center of Police Strategy Management. Okay. Our second guest will be Major Isidore Aklan from MDM 2015, and he is the Budget and Fiscal Officer of the PNP Aviation Security Group. Our third guest will be Major Ford Sudaipan from MDM 2014. He is the Deputy Battalion Commander of the Rapid Deployment Unit at the PNP Special Action Force. And finally, we have Mr. Romel Rubiales, concurrently assigned at the Office of the Deputy Commissioner, Internal Administration Group. Uh, Concurrently assigned at the Office of the Deputy Commissioner, Internal Administration Group, Planning and Policy Research Division, and the Office of Strategy Management. Also as head of the X-ray Inspection Office, Manila International Container Port. Okay, and I want to say a special congratulations for being the first Filipino selected by the WCO Secretary General and the WCO Directorate for the WCO CDP 2020-2021. Okay, obtaining 100% rating for the Performance Governance System examination for the Bureau of Customs governance documents. Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
they have prepared a lot of things. So I'm just gonna go ahead right now and call on Major Joel Corpus.
Hi, Prof. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My fellow guests, good evening. Thank you, AIM and NBN, for providing this opportunity and platform for us to share. As I was introduced, I am working with the Center for Policy Strategy Management of the Philippine National Police. Prior to my current assignment here, I've been assigned in Visayas and Mindanao area in different operational duties for the past 10 years. And I had the opportunity to mingle with communities with different cultural and religious orientations, as well as police officers from different walks of life all over the country, and which I believe that some or the majority of or majority of them shares the same challenges as mine. I was very lucky to finish the challenging AIM degree at Asian Institute of Management in 2018, which gave me, I think, a better perspective on how to work with the union service and leading an impact within the mandate of my own organization. Working with the Office of Strategy Management is quite challenging and exciting. Exciting in the sense that our working coverage is national in scope within the boundaries of 17 regions in the country. And since it's a government agency, the organization system are already in place, although, however, anytime we can dislodge the elements we may not be foresee, just like the COVID-19 pandemic. And a very good platform to contribute to a large scale impact, not only to the community we are serving, but to the sustainable development goals. And this is what we are trying to do here in our office, sustaining our organizational strategy amid the pandemic and other challenges we have in the organization, both internal and external. At the same time, ensuring alignment to the country's ambition natin 2040 to have matatag, maginhawa, and panatag na buhay, which subsequently contributory to the sustainable development goals, specifically on Sustainable Development Goals number 16, the peace, justice, and strong institution. And we are also ensuring that the strategy is cascaded down to the lowest level of the organization and even to individual police officers. Sustaining the implementation of the strategy of our organization will, of course, enable us to produce the intended impact to the community by providing a safer place to live, work, and do business, and have the people live in peace with a responsible economy. So basically, Prof, that is the background of my organization where I am working right now, and I hope I can share more later on the challenges we have in the organization and as an individual police officer.
Okay, thank you, Joel. Can I call on Isidore now?
Prof, everyone, good evening. Thank you very much for inviting us on this forum today. I have been assigned in the administrative units of the PNP, and for the previous years, I have been assigned as this disbursing officer of Police Regional Office Mimaropa in 4B in Calapan. Presently, I am assigned as the Budget and Fiscal Officer of the PNP Aviation Security Group, which manage all the security aspect of all airports nationwide. I would like to give you a brief introduction of my unit. The PNP Aviation Security Group, the lead unit of the PNP in securing all airports and airfields in the Philippines. On April 28, 1976, Presidential Letter of Instruction number 399 was issued creating the National Action Committee on Anti-Hijacking in compliance with the Montreal Convention of the 1971. With the enactment of the Republic Act 6975 on 1991, the chairmanship of NACA was transferred from the AFP to the DILG, and the PNP assumed the responsibility through the PNP Police Aviation Security Command, or then PASCOM, which was later renamed as the PNP Aviation Security Group. Shown on the slide is the geographical location of the different stations of the PNP Aviation Security Group. And as their budget officer, I am responsible in managing their fiscal resources all over the country. We have a total of 2,589 police personnel deployed nationwide to protect our airports from Region 1 to Region 12, including the National Capital Region Terminals 1 to 5. We have a total of 88 private and public airport and airstrips. The mission of the Aviation Security Group is to provide aviation security Aviation security is a specialized function of the Philippine National Police and the responsibility of protecting the passengers, staff, airplanes, using the airports from accidental and malicious harms, crimes, and other threats delegated solely to the PNP Aviation Security Group. Today, COVID-19 has posed great challenges not only to the PNP but to all other government agencies and other law enforcement agencies worldwide. The modernization and globalization also increased the demands for the PNP Aviation Security Group and other government agencies to cope up with the modern day policing and aviation security needs. This is also a challenge for the PNP to manage available resources and to ensure that public services are delivered efficiently and effectively amidst these challenges. In order to sustain and to further improve the services that we provide the community and our stakeholders, and further achieve a highly capable, effective, and credible police aviation unit working in partnership with the airport authorities and other aviation stakeholders, the PNP Aviation Security Group will implement the following programs. These programs are designed to ensure maximum preparedness to thwart attempts of terrorism or infiltration against civil aviation in the country. As a staunch vanguard of aviation security in the country, the Aviation Security Group, as mandated by law, will religiously serve as a vehicle for steering success, safeguarding all airports nationwide against offensive and terrorist attacks that threaten civil aviation. And we are proud to say that your PNP Aviation Security aims high to secure all airports nationwide. And later, I hope that we could also share our experiences and other learnings that we had from MDM that helped us a lot in managing this job that we had right now. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Thank you, Isidore. Can I call on Ford now?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening to our viewers. Blessed evening. Again, I'm assigned at the Special Action Force. And for those who do not know our unit, the Special Action Force is the rapid deployment unit of the Philippine National Police. We cater counter-terrorism operations, counterinsurgency operations, hostage rescue operations, search and rescue, civil disturbance management, and we respond to emergencies, especially those having national and international implications. So we serve as the muscle of the national government and the Philippine National Police in responding to different emergencies, like recently in 2017, the Marawi siege, and some forms of other forms of terrorist attack all over the country. Our unit is distributed all over the Philippines, so we have different battalions deployed from Luzon to Mindanao. But basically, what I would like to share is my specific office for the past 5 years. My designation as Deputy Battalion Commander of Rapid Deployment Battalion just took effect last week. And this is my first day to sit on my table as the Deputy Battalion Commander. But basically, for the last 5 years, I was assigned at the Strategy Management Office of the Special Action Force. This is actually the counterpart unit of the Office of Major Corpus, the Center for Police Strategy Management Office. So the Strategy Management Office is in charge in the implementation of the performance governance system as presented by Major Corpus a while ago. But at the same time, we provide support to our line units, the different battalions, and even in our headquarters. So part of our initiatives include drafting of strategies to support programs for the SAF, the recruitment, internal cleansing, moral and welfare program for our unit, COVID response, and some forms of contingency plans. We strongly believe that though SAF is a mission-based unit with a high degree of tactical capabilities, having a God-centered, family-based, and service-oriented personnel will lead our organization into a more respected, competent, and dependable organization. So with that vision, we wanted to have a good balance between work and family, because that is mostly the issue confronting a tactical unit like the Special Action Force. Also a balance between the accomplishment of the mission and the welfare, moral and welfare of the personnel. So part of the challenges that we have internally is related to family issues. Also the post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, because of the nature of our job, the nature of our deployment. We also have some issues on personal financial management and other issues related to the deployment and nature of our function. And added to that challenge is, as we try to implement interventions, another challenge is the buy-in of the organization, especially the leadership, because these soft skills focusing on personnel is not actually the priority, because our priority is in enhancing the tactical capability of our and competency of our personnel. So this is another challenge. And lastly, of course, we need financial support from our leadership and from our external stakeholders. So these are the challenges that we wanted to address and what we are dealing right now with our office.
Okay, so I appreciate that. I just want to tell the viewers that we really have a good combination of officers from the PNP today. They really cover a wide range of functions within the PNP, from the strategy planning to managing a nationwide unit specialized on aviation, and then of course managing a very important tactical response unit in the Special Action Force. So we're gonna dig deeper after a bit into the challenges again about the PNP and talk about them more. But at this point, I'd like to call first on our colleague, our friend from the Bureau of Customs, to give a brief overview of what they do in terms of protecting our economy and generating much needed revenue for our government. So can I please call on Romel? Romel, you're still on mute. Romel, you're still on mute. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Good evening. I'm Romel Katigbak Rubiales, and I'm presently assigned at the X-ray Inspection Office as the head of the Manila International Container Port. Prior to my assignment at the XIP-MICP, I was a technical staff at the Office of the Commissioner of then Commissioner Napoleon L. Morales from 2006 to 2010. And thereafter, I was promoted to Customs Examiner in 2010, and was also assigned at the office of then Commissioner Rufino Biason under his task force, revenue enhancement for attainment of collection targets. And I would like to briefly share the function and mandate of my office at the XIP. So for information, I am concurrently assigned at the Office of the Deputy Commissioner Internal Administration Group, headed by Deputy Commissioner Donato San Juan, who is also an alumnus of AIM, class 99, and also concurrently assigned at the Office of Strategy Management and Planning and the Policy Research Division. And the X-ray inspection project is responsible for taking measures to achieve the appropriate rate of detection of prohibited, restricted, misdeclared, underdeclared, undeclared, and otherwise illegal importations. So part of our work is to protect the security of our borders by strengthening our scanning capabilities. So to share with you, the daily average for the scanned or X-ray containers at the Manila International Container Port is around 1,200 to 1,500 container vans. So that would greatly pose a challenge for us, customs personnel assigned at the X-ray inspection office. We have the latest version of scanning machines. We have the astrophysics scanners. And also as backup system, we have the Nuctec mobile X-rays produced by Nuctec company of China. So I'd like also to share our stakeholders. We have as for our stakeholders, we have the importers, exporters, customs brokers associations, logistics and forwarding companies, various industry organizations, multinational corporations, and various trade regulatory agencies. And also, to add to that, incorporating and integrating the tools, techniques, trends, and strategies for the X-ray inspection office, we have developed and implemented an operating system that will translate to positive results like the realization of strengthening of scanning capabilities to support our security and border protection while doing revenue enhancement measures and attainment of collection targets for the Bureau. To further emphasize my claim and to justify the significance of my AIM MDM education, I would like to share the history of the Bureau of Customs and AIM. So, as for the Bureau of Customs, we have the most remarkable and the greatest commissioners who finished their master's degrees from AIM. We have General Farolan, who served from 1977 to 1986 of AIM class 72. We have Commissioner Paraino, who served this full term from 1992 to 1998. AIM Class 77. We have Commissioner Alex Arevalo, who served as Deputy Commissioner from 2001 to 2010 and served as Commissioner in 2000 acting capacity in 2005. And lastly, we have a Deputy Commissioner San Juan, who is currently serving as a Deputy Commissioner for Internal Administration Group and also as the Chief of Staff of the Commissioner. So I believe that my AIM education is very important, specifically my learnings from the subjects such as bridging leadership, strategic management, and operations management, which I have applied directly with my job description and position.
Okay.
That would be Professor.
Okay, thank you, Romel. Okay, so I'm gonna move over here and I'm just gonna ask maybe some questions. I'll start with Joel again. I'll go back to Joel and ask some questions. So Joel, in your role in the in the strategy management department in the PNP, what is the biggest change or outcome that you're hoping to see through the efforts of your office that you will see inside the organization? We can't hear you, Joel.
Hello, Prof. Is it okay now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, Prof. Good evening. Thank you for the questions. Actually, we have, since we are the office primarily in charge with the vision of the PNP, our primary vision is to have a highly credible, effective, and police service with in partnership with the community to provide safe place to live, work, and do business. So our vision, Prof, is holistic so that we can really serve the people, the community, and the whole country, and of course to provide impact not only to the community but also to the individual police officers in our organization.
Yeah, I worked with many students who come from the PNP, and I know that it's a very complex organization, and you're dealing with so many issues. But I appreciate that you said that your vision really is to be both credible and effective at the same time. Okay.
Of course, Prof,
yeah.
Yeah, but of course, Prof, we have a lot of still challenges in the organization, both organizational challenges and individual challenges to every police officers.
Can you give us some of the examples from your point of view in the strategy management office? What do you see are like challenges in bringing about that added credibility and that added effectiveness within the organization?
Yes, Prof, with my almost 2 years stay with the Center for Police Strategy Management, I can say that there are two segments of challenges that I already perceive, organizational challenges and individual challenges. As we always say, the VUCA word itself is a challenge to the implementation of our organizational strategy. Just like with other organizations, this COVID-19 pandemic changed a lot on the landscape of policing and made a sudden turn of events, a sudden increase of cybercrime incident due to digitization and even affect the quarantine period during this pandemic, wherein our capability may not be sufficient to fully respond with the unforeseen challenges. That's why adjustment and the strategy is always the preferred option if possible, but this is not simple as it seems. Another challenge, as I perceive, is the how to become a more sustainable organizations. Uh, Prof, the PNP is more than 200,000 personnel and keep on increasing, and we continuously contribute to the carbon footprints. Yes, we are contributing to the SDG number 17. At the same time, we also against the environmental effect of our organizations. While at the same time, along with implementing and looking at the overall organizational strategy, individual police officers have their own challenges, and that also we need to look at. So it's a part of our function in our office to look at these components. Because being a police officer and a public servant, the magnitude of accountability and responsibility is so high. The demand for public service is so huge. And sometimes it came across our mind that we are doing our best as police officers within our capacity. We devoted even extra time more than what is required to extend our service. However, it seems not enough. The people and the community we are serving demands more and more, which as a public servant, we need to meet those expectations. There may be no questions about our commitment and competency to perform all that is given to us, yet there's a gray area about balance between doing our job as police officers and other aspects of personal life, which sometimes create a doubt in us what may be missing and what are the things we may need to improve, or even asking ourselves, are we doing well enough to have the impact on the lives of the people we are serving? Yes, organizational systems are in place to deliver its mandate. We know what to do and how to do it because that's what we're trained for. In fact, manuals are all available in all aspects of policing, but every police officer should also need to figure out why they do what they need to do with balance of work with personal life, such as family, uh, health and wealth, and even social aspects of life. We know because we know for a fact, Prof, that in the uniform service, you can be assigned anywhere in the country just to satisfy the call for public service, far away from your family, which can disrupt or dislodge what your priorities in life and even your existing plans in life. So while fulfilling the call of our duty, we also need to spare time to other aspects of life because having the right balance in life make every individual, especially police officers, to be more productive because they can be more focused in their life and more innovative to provide impact to the community we are serving. So the big challenge really for me is being a police officer and public servant, how to become a police officer while impacting the lives of the community we are serving by providing them a safer place to live, work, and do business. At the same time, fulfilling, you have the balance of fulfilling other aspects of your life, especially the family.
Okay. Thank you, Joel. I want to ask, so no, before the pandemic, that tourism and movement via air travel was growing rapidly. So how has the mission evolved? What has changed, and what are the big challenges facing aviation group now?
Um, Prof, thank you very much. No, right now, the COVID-19 situation in the country has greatly affected our aviation industry. Even our roles in the airport, as in securing the airports, has changed drastically. Before, the PNP Aviation Security Group is concerned only on the external factors. We are battling against known enemies like criminals and terrorists. But today we can see our enemies. The PNP Aviation Security Group is handling the pre-departure screening of all passengers right now. As all um, other offices in the airport are closed, the PNP Aviation Security Group remains in 100% capacity. In the PNP, you could see that the highest number of COVID patients, COVID positive police officers came from our unit, the PNP Aviation Security Group. That is primarily because we are the ones who are in charge of screening the passenger arriving and departing from our airport and to and from our airports. Our policemen are highly exposed on the infection and the probable carriers of the virus. So how do we deal with this? The PNP has provided us with the equipment, the PPEs that are needed. However, these PPEs are still these are just external preventive measures that we implement. We still ensure that our policemen are healthy and that they take their personal measures to protect themselves as well. Because the greatest factor that affects our police officers right now is not the fear of being infected, but the fear of infecting their families when they go home. Perhaps that's one of the things that we are now focusing on, how to also increase the morale of our police officers who are deployed in the airport, as well as increase their capability to fight against this virus by disinfecting them, by providing them with enough equipment, and ensuring that the systems implemented at the airports are safe, not only for our personnel, but also for traveling passengers, Prof.
Major, I have a question.
Yes, Prof.
I'm very curious because a lot of people want to start to travel soon again, no? So my question is, how do you incorporate the day-to-day learning of people on the ground, and how do you incorporate that to improve the system, like continuous improvement in the system, so that maybe we can be more effective in screening the pre-departure, and at the same time maybe like make it faster or reduce the threat of exposure to the police? Is there is there a way that they actually incorporate all this learning from the ground?
Yes, Prof. Actually, we established a joint task force for the airport management alone. This task force, this pandemic is something new to us. Um, this is um, this is something that we have never imagined. In my lifetime, I have never dreamed of a day that 7-Eleven would close. But this pandemic is something new, that it gave us a different experience that we're not prepared of. I guess there's no agency, there's no office in the government that is more prepared than we are right now. So the daily experiences that we have every day is actually a learning process for us. Every day is a learning process for us. And in this joint task group at the airport, these agencies talk about the systems. During the first day of the pandemic, the airports were, I would say, new to this, new to the implementation of all the restrictions. No, the passengers are not comfortable of the new systems implemented as well. Even the PNP is not should I say prepared to face this situation. So um, every day this joint task force meets, and then we create policies from the small things to the biggest things, like queuing at the airport. How do we examine the documents that they present? Because during the first days of this pandemic, we didn't know that the virus could be transferred on paper. So on the first day of when the airports normalized, we didn't wear gloves. No, we were not that protected. But as the day goes on, we get to learn, we get to interact with other agencies. No, this is one thing that we've learned a lot in AIM during our MDM or education, is how we tap on the different resources and the networks that we have, how to strategically plan based on the things that we face each day. And slowly, we get to implement systems that are both helpful not only to the law enforcement and other agencies or offices at the airport, but as well to those traveling passengers. If you would compare today the passengers' experience compared to the first day of the lockdown, it has drastically changed. You know, we have definitely improved in a manner of queuing up, on processing documents and all other stuff. But the best thing that I could say is, and I could assure the public, is that the PNP together with the other members of this task group are making the best out of the situation that we have and the resources that we have to learn how to implement effective and efficient measures to protect not only the passengers but also their loved ones, no, na who will be with them when they travel. No, because the end mission, the end view of this task group is to protect not only the passengers but also their destinations. No, and
Okay.
I guess every day is indeed a learning experience, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Major Ford. I just wanted to put the spotlight on you for a while. So I know that your unit is not really designed to counter invisible virus, but nonetheless, your task really to always be ready to respond to certain kinds of threats. Okay, so I just wanted to know, and by the way, congratulations on recently occupying this new position in the battalion. So my deepest congratulations and well wishes.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe you can help us understand a little bit the challenges of adopting under the new circumstances, and what are these challenges for the Special Action Force, and what has changed? Has the mindset changed?
Thank you, sir. Basically, I'd just like to focus on what we are doing in the Special Action Force. Of course, the normal way of life for us, the Special Action Force, is really affected. First is, since we are a tactical unit, one of the foundation of our unit is the training. So competency and skills of our people. So we continuously conduct trainings we undergo a lot of trainings as compared to any other PNP units. We have foundation courses, we have specialization courses. And again, because of the restriction due to COVID, our training was hampered. So the national headquarters actually issued a memorandum for temporarily stopping all kinds of training. But after they approved the continuation of training, we immediately adapted. So first, we have the good thing for SAF is we have our own training facility. So basically, we can isolate the students, the trainees, for even a month before they can start the training. So we can isolate them in our training facility to make sure that all of them will be free from any infection. And after ensuring that all of them are not affected, then we can start the normal training. But of course, there are a lot of challenges, because when it comes to classroom instruction, you need to occupy a larger space because of the social distancing. Also, there are some aspects that we need to do it online, virtual. Unlike before, that everything is more of physical training. Another actually is, of course, the rotation of our personnel, because we are a highly mobile unit. Because of the restrictions of travel, we are spending a lot of resources, because we need to travel by land most of the time. And as to the personnel, Another thing, as mentioned by Major Corpus, Major Aklan, is really the safety protocol. Because you need to protect yourself. Of course, you need to protect your family, and that's very important. Because basically, before pandemic, we have, especially for those battalions deployed in Mindanao, in Visayas, every quarter they are given the privilege to at least have a 10-day break so that they can have time for their family. Because for the 3 to 4 months, they're not allowed to go home, so they just stay inside camp and perform their duty, doing a lot of operations. So right now, these things are hampered, and you need also to give time for your personnel to have time with their families. But again, this is our chosen profession, so it's a part of our sacrifices, part of the payslip, the salary that we are receiving.
Okay, but the readiness level is still there.
Yeah, as to our competency, the preparedness of our unit, I think I'm proud to say that we are ready, because our companies, our battalions deployed especially in critical areas facing counterterrorism and counterinsurgency. Even during this time of pandemic, they are continuously doing their functions. They're continuously doing their job. And actually, because of pandemic, we have more operations because we have more time to plan, because we are isolated. So you don't have any choice but to plan and do your operations.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. Before I go to Romel, I just wanted to ask the panelists to just notice that we already have a lot of questions already from Dexter, and I think from Dimitri. There's several questions there. So we're gonna come back to this towards the end of our session today. But I want to now move to Romel. Okay, and maybe he can give us a really nice, concise grasp of like the big challenges that customs is facing right now, especially during this economic slowdown. There was a stop in the economy, and now suddenly it's trying to revive itself as quick as possible, and the supply chain was disrupted. Maybe he can give us a sense of what's happening inside, and the big challenges for him and the other units. Romel?
Professor, again, good evening. So I'd like to state the challenges faced by our organization. So the main challenge would be how to promote and provide trade facilitation on a sustained basis between the Bureau of Customs and its stakeholders, while increasing and strengthening the scanning capabilities of the Bureau in line with the main thrust of the X-ray Inspection Office of Border Security Protection. So with that as a challenge, we have to assimilate the forward and backward integration of processes, technologies, our organization, our external stakeholders, and the present situation on the ground at the BOC, with the application of methodologies and application for accurate measurement of capacity and utilization of the non-intrusive inspection system. It can be simply understood that the framework for evaluating quality for the container scanning system would be the improvement of services to lessen the average hours that stakeholders are spending within the X-ray inspection area, and to fully implement the no contact policy, which would minimize, if not completely lessen, human interface in dealing with the complete scanning process. It can be manifested by the fact that the staffing system may be underutilized, which would transcend to the understanding that there is a need to address issues relating to personnel complement and capacity. What can be clearly presented within the case that I have presented would be results of underutilization. So with that scenario, we have to check the alignment of the requirements, the needs, and the proposed solutions and actions agenda with the prevailing conditions on the ground. So issues and concerns arising from the resulting tendency to overextend or the accumulation of maximum elapsed time for containers after undergoing scanning procedure, were identified as the negative effects. And relating to the case, to the concept of performance, it would yield the understanding that utilization and capacity should be achieved in relation to the attainment of the percentage of effective capacity and utilization. So in view of this, we need to reduce the cost of service, which is a significant decision that the X-ray inspection office should develop, and we should have approaches to match the demand and capacity. So the application of the concepts that I have mentioned would emphasize the economic impact of scanning wait times versus or vis-a-vis economic productivity. And it may be appropriately asserted that an important learning derived from these experiences through the operations of the non-intrusive inspection project would be we should employ, or we should follow best practices, which can be manifested by meeting the requirements of the schedule and capabilities of the office in order to minimize imbalance between our facilities and the personnel complement while producing the desired output. The importance of meeting the actual time to accomplish the task or process step in the X-ray or scanning process would be significant in identifying the bottlenecks, which is determined by the presence of longest cycle time, and therefore can limit the output of the X-ray or the mobile machines. And in relation to our case, the MICP X-ray Inspection Office, it will constrain throughput. And the different ways to address this problem would be ensure that bottlenecks would stay busy, and increasing capacity to its maximum level, and rerouting process flow. As for my own recommendation to address this problem, I think it would be a very good example to apply best practices by translating to the creation or a proposal, or to facilitate a system that will pave the way for grouping of certain types of shipments, which would reduce waiting times at various activities in the scanning facility area, and implementing an efficient scheduling system which will accommodate more processes that will be made available. And generally it will follow that the time will be saved, and it will be an advantage for the X-ray inspection office, because the approach would yield the optimum results through matching capacity and demand. So that would be all, sir.
Okay, so that's I listened very attentively. Professors always have to listen so that we can ask good questions after you speak. So thank you for that. Very detailed, very clear on the trade-offs between capacity and throughput speed and waiting time and all of these things. Of course, this for the viewers, this process is very important, right? Because in many industries, many of our industries in the Philippines are heavily reliant on these containers that are being brought in to the country. Literally, many businesses will stop operations if the containers get stuck there for too long. So the throughput time is important, but at the same time, we need to know what's inside the container so that we can levy the right tax, we can levy the right duty, so that we can collect the right revenue, and so on and so forth. So it's I know customs is a very, very critical function, and there's so much attention there because so much value of our economy passes through that. So in a way, maybe that's why I felt, as an observation, that a lot of this systems building and process improvement and best practices is really needed to make sure that it's fair and transparent, etc. Is that I mean, it has the best practices adoption and the building of more processes really improved the transparency of it?
Yes, sir. In my honest opinion, since our enrollment to the performance governance system, we have already improved our operating systems, our technology, and with the procurement and acquisition of this modern high-tech X-ray machines. You're right, Professor, that we can collect the appropriate amount of duties and taxes accruing under the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act. And as a result, it would result to higher revenue collection for the Bureau, which would be part of the funds that the national government will be using for to fund projects, programs, and that, in my own opinion, would be uh, a manifestation of the employment of best practices within the bureau, sir.
Okay, thank you. You know, I'm very happy to be listening to all of you guys talk this evening. You know that, you know, for our audience, these young men here are future senior leaders in their organization, and it's good to get the chance to hear them talk this evening. Gentlemen, if you saw the questions on the side in the chat box, I want to ask some of them, and a lot of these questions actually are related to your specific insights or learnings that you got from school, from MDM. So I'll read the question from Dexter. Maybe you can just combine. There's two questions here, but maybe you can just combine the answer. And you know, we're running a little short on time, so we can be more direct to the point in terms of the answers. Okay. So Dexter's first question was, how did the MDM lens help you in the performance of your duties in your department? Can you give specific examples of maybe how that lens helped you see things in a certain way? And then what specific learning from MDM helped you address the challenge and concerns of your department or position? Maybe this time I'll start with Romel. Okay, and then maybe if we can just keep the answer a little short so that we can answer the other questions as well. So Romel, I'll start with you this time.
Sir, I believe the learnings that I have gained from the following courses, like bridging leadership, strategic management, operations management, helped me in a way, because I would like to clearly state that since I was a recipient and I was awarded with this Suwilig Foundation grant, I would say I was able to apply all that I have drafted and written within my management written report to my present assignment. And I'm happy to share that one of my proposal during during my thesis defense was the enhancement of the Value Reference Information System, or the EVRIS. And fortunately, with the leadership of Commissioner Guerrero, my proposal was implemented through the drafting of a customs memorandum order implementing the EVRIS. So that would greatly boost my morale for to work hard and to aspire for more should I say key or responsible position, since I participated directly with the tasks given to me or assigned to me by Deputy Commissioner for the Internal Administration Group. I was also, with the help of the learnings from strategic management, I was able to craft or draft and propose strategies for the Internal Administration Group. I have proposed for the organizational development, improve the working environment for personnel complement, enhanced financial management, and automation of customs processes, systems, and procedure. So I'm very happy to share that the learnings that I have gained from this, from the Master in Development Management course, was very significant with my present position, as I have been assigned with 3 positions concurrently, and I'm very happy to state that I have been performing well, and I was commended by both by the Deputy Commissioner and the Commissioner for my work.
Okay. Thank you, Romel. Thank you for that. I'm going to go to Major Ford and ask him. So the questions here are, was there any specific lens, learning, or theory or framework that you feel that you learned from MDM that you feel really helped you in your current job and the challenges related to your job?
Thank you, sir. So I think to be more specific to save time, again, as mentioned by Roman, we have a lot, no, from our subjects in MDM. stakeholder engagement. We have the bridging leadership, strategy management, operations management, and even marketing and innovation. So before taking my MDM program, I was a company commander in Mindanao in region 11, specifically in Davao. And what we do is we kick doors, we arrest criminals, we conduct operations. And I thought that the world revolves around me in terms of my job. But when I entered the MDM program, I realized that I'm just a small seed in the society, and there's a bigger organization, there is a bigger world out there. And if you really want to do well, to perform, and to serve the community well, you need to have engagement with a lot of sectors. So basically, the bridging leadership is very helpful, the stakeholder analysis and management. Basically, I initiated a fundraising activity for our Tagaligtas Foundation. The foundation caters to the needs of the relatives of our fallen comrades. And we have conducted actually 3 major events in Bonifacio Global City, BGC. With engagement with the management, we conducted all this event for free. You know how expensive to do an activity in BGC. Also, we launched a lot of programs. For example, family welfare program for staff. At first, it's really hard because you need to convince the leadership. And again, it's bridging leadership. What are their values, what they believe in, and you need to feed and you need to convince them. Another is there are a lot of things being implemented already, but you need to innovate. Always answering the question, there are better ways to do it. There are more efficient and less cost ways to do it. And all those things, I learned this from our MDM program. Also, sometimes with the PNP, with our nature of organization, it is always good that you will always find favor before the eyes of your senior officers. And for you, to ensure that all your programs or your proposal will be approved, budget will be there, and also so that you can also have support from external stakeholders. And basically, it boils down to bridging leadership and how you really wanted and how will you engage them. Because these people, these are persons, they have personalities, they have their personal belief, they have their personal values. And again, in our organization, I said a while ago, we focus on tactical and skills competency related to tactical capabilities. So all these soft things, these are not good for us in the lens of our leadership. But again, these programs are running, these programs are creating good results for our organizations.
Thank you, Major Ford. Okay, before I let Isidore answer, I got feedback on Facebook about something he said earlier. Okay, suspense. This person's also an alum of AIM. I think executive MBA. He said, the feedback I received from foreigners coming back to the Philippines is that the management of the queuing tests is very well organized and properly implemented. So kudos. So validation from our viewers that they did experience the good queuing at the airport. So Isidore, can I ask you now, maybe from your own experience?
Yes.
I think we have about 6 minutes left for both you and Joel.
Yes.
So specifically, I think the audience wants to know very specifically, what is it maybe that you learned, framework tool, or like what leadership transformation did you go through that you really think is connected to your learning experience at MDM that really is helping you in your effectiveness today?
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much. Prof, just like me, my classmate from the Academy, Ford and Joel, we're all graduates of the Philippine National Police Academy. In the Philippine National Police Academy, we were trained to be law enforcers, to be tactically equipped with laws, with the skills that we need as a police officer. The things that are lacking in that sense is the well-roundedness on tapping our networks, establishing and knowing our stakeholders. Marketing are the words that you'll never hear inside the police academy. You'll never hear about project management, financial management, and all other this stuff that are taught in the MDM program. what the MDM program has taught me is to broaden my perspective about policing, about leadership. Before, I thought leadership is all about building my character, building my influence, and being self-centered in sense. No, how to make myself a leader without considering the external factors around me. MDM program has showed me how to understand the situation, the people around me, the community that I serve, and to truly understand them is to truly serve them. Um, by 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 these learnings, I was able to also improve myself and connect myself to the people that I serve. Um, I have always believed that the public safety is the foundation of development and nation's progress. Without public safety, without peace and order, it would be very hard for development and progress to pursue. And being a police officer, um, public safety and public order does not only involve police work or law enforcement work. Now it involves the community. The police, the PNP, the Philippine National Police right now, is transcending from a militaristic point of view to a community service point of view. And the MDM program has showed us this path towards achieving a more community-oriented policing. No, um, the PNP now talks about the community relations. We now engage more with our stakeholders, and these are the things that I guess a step towards improving our organization. My MRR, when I was in the MDM program, focused on decentralizing the SOSA. This is an office of the PNP that handles licensing of our security guards, because way back then I was assigned there. And I saw how problematic the system is because it's centralized at the national headquarters, the licensing and all the processing. With my MRR, the leadership of the civil security group was able to decentralize. And now we have regional civil security units all over the Philippines, catering to all security guards and firearms licensing. This is one problem that I was able to see because of my MDM degree, and I was able to propose a viable solution, which was implemented by my organization. And I'm very thankful for my MDM education for that. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. We should maybe do some cases about all of your stories here that revolve around innovating processes and programs. Okay, Joel, can I ask you for your perspective about your own learning and experience? We can't hear you again, Joel. Sorry.
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Just to summarize all the points of my co-guest this evening, all the learnings, all the analytical tools from AIM that is given to us, I can say that one, I think, of my favorite subject is strategic management, because you can see the organization as a whole from top to bottom, but you need also to incorporate all the analytical tools from different subjects, stakeholder analysis, SWOT analysis, and so on and so forth. However, you can see the strategy at higher level, but without the bridging leadership, wherein you need to empathize with the people you are serving. Your strategy is useless. The use of analytical tool is useless. You need to empathize with the people you are serving, because it is where you can execute what you want to do, and of course with also the combination of design thinking. Before you can implement, you need really to know what are the needs of the community you are serving. And also, as what I have learned is, one of the best solution actually is not solving the problem on your own, but a collaboration as what Sir Isidore asked a while ago, collaboration is one of the keys in keeping up against the challenges, especially now. I take an example, the current case of this pandemic, wherein organization, big or small, need to collaborate with like-minded organizations, not only to gain support on the services, but share the common ideas of coming for a better solution or value proposition. So with the learnings from MDM, there's a lot of moving parts you need to consider. But again, going back to bridging leadership, it is where the idea came from.
Okay. I'm going to tell Professor Nieves that all of you said bridging leadership so that she will be very happy. But before we go, gentlemen, I wanted to add one last question, really quick. Can you give our audience maybe some parting words of reassurance, and maybe can you share a little bit of like, why are you hopeful about the future? I think it would be very helpful for them to hear this from all of you, being very senior government leaders. Maybe you can just very briefly give them some words of reassurance and hope from your perspective. Maybe I'll start again with Romel.
So I would say that my enrollment to the Master in Development program, Development Management program of AIM was really a great learning experience, and that would be the reason for my designation or my appointment to my present position. Not because my direct superior or my boss is an alumnus of AIM, but because of the trust and confidence that he gave me upon knowing that I'm also an alumnus of AIM.
Okay, thank you. Major Ford, any words of reassurance and hope for our audience?
Well, of course, our start, there is a God, and we believe that God is in control of everything. And another thing is we give wisdom to all of us. So we have great leaders right now working for to address the current pandemic that we have. And also for me and in my organization, we're doing a lot of programs to help not only our organization, but also the community and the other PNP units.
Okay, thank you, Major Ford. Major Isidore?
Prof, I guess seeing us here gives a lot of hope for all other for our community. Seeing people like us being taught in AIM, being educated by AIM, gives a lot of hope for our future. I also would like to say that the government that we're working with ensures that the public is safe. You know? We just have to trust the leadership and to trust the system. You know? Just like us in the airports, you know, we know how hard it is to travel right now, but we're ensuring the general public that we're doing our best out of the resources that we have, and make sure that your travels are safe and that our airports are safe as well. So,
Thank you. Major Joel, ay, tinawag na kita Mayor, sorry ha. Hindi pa, iba ka in the future. Major Joel.
Just for the assurance of the public, the PNP as a whole is working hard enough for us to do our job as in the law enforcement, and with the current programs of the organizations, we have already a good roadmap for the PNP, which is the PNP Patrol Plan 2030, a very strategic roadmap for us in the police force to deliver what we are mandated to deliver in the public, and to provide and to become a highly capable, effective, and credible police service for the country.
Okay, so gentlemen, on that note, my deep gratitude for sharing your time today. I know that it's a holiday. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your insights. There's a lot of people who are watching this, have watched it right now, and there are people who will watch it again on the replay on FB. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think I just want to say thank you and good evening to everybody. I think we're going to have a short closing video just to close off our MDM live. And before we go, I just want to ask our panelists to maybe stay a little bit so we can have a little picture after the live stream, okay? All right. So thanks a lot, everybody. And again, to all the audience, thank you again for spending your time and watching MDM Live. Catch us again next time for the next MDM Live. Maraming salamat.
We need to operationalize ideas. We have a lot of ideas to solve problems of the world.
How can we build and scale the new business models, products and services, marketplaces, partnerships, and alliances that will strengthen our resilience in the areas of food security, public health and wellness, education, and social cohesion and culture?